Welcome students. In previous classes we had discussed about electric flux and various questions based on electric flux. Today we'll discuss about Gauss theorem, which is very important question for pre-board and competitive exam. So make heading Gauss theorem. Gauss theorem. So note down the definition. This theorem defined the relation between electric flux and charge. According to this, total electric flux passes through any closed loop will be equal to the 1 upon epsilon naught times of total charge. This theorem defined the relation between electric flux and charge. Note down the point. Gauss theorem defined the relation between electric flux and charge. You better know phi is the electric flux and q is the charge. We can define the Gauss theorem as like phi E equal to q, phi E equal to q upon epsilon naught. Phi E equal to q upon epsilon naught. This is the mathematics of Gauss theorem. Now how can be defined? Directly we can take the answer. Total flux passes through any closed loop is equal to the 1 upon epsilon naught times of total charge. Once again, total flux passes through any closed loop will be equal to the 1 upon epsilon naught times of total charge. That is phi E equal to q upon epsilon naught. Phi E equal to q upon epsilon naught. Okay. Now, how can we prove the Gauss theorem? So, let us suppose this is the any surface charged by plus q, and you better know electric field is away from charge E. This is the direction of electric field away from positive charge. Since surface is irregular, surface is S, we have to assume a Gaussian surface. This is the Gaussian surface, and let's suppose this is the direction n cap and this angle is theta. This surface is called Gaussian surface. Total surface is S. S is the given surface. Since this is the irregular surface, so we have to convert the surface into Gaussian surface. What is the Gaussian surface? Let's suppose this is the point, any point. If I ask find out the Gaussian surface, so it is the Gaussian surface. It is the assumption. We can assume any Gaussian surface. So this is the shape of Gaussian surface, which is an arbitrary assumption. You can take. Let's suppose 2 points are given as like this. So it will be in the shape of cylinder. This surface is called Gaussian surface. For our need, we can assume the Gaussian surface. Let's suppose ds is the Gaussian surface. When we integrate the ds, we will get what? S, because it is as like this. Let us suppose this is the surface S. This is the Gaussian assumption. ds already taught in class 11th, and we integrate ds, we will get S. So this is the assumptions of Gaussian surface. Okay. So total flux passes through that much area, ds. So what are total flux? d phi E equal to, we better know what are the measurement of flux. Measurement of flux is defined by phi E equal to E S cos theta. In previous lecture, I told you that phi E equal to E S cos theta. This is the measurement of flux. Okay. So for this total flux passes through that smaller area, it will be not phi E, it will be d phi E, smaller flux. D phi E equal to, what are the total electric field? E, surface is what? ds cos theta, and it is situated at r distance. Okay. So again, d phi E equal to, what is the value of E? You better know. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square and ds cos theta. Okay. Integrating both sides, d phi E integration will be phi E equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and inside will be ds cos theta upon r square. Note down the point. Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught will be out, and here out of integration sign it will be ds cos theta upon r square. But ds cos theta upon r square is equal to d omega. This is the solid angle. You better know. Let's suppose this is any surface, and it is the surface area, distance is r, surface is what? ds. So for angle is equal to arc upon radius. It will be s upon r, and a solid angle will be ds upon r square. This is the difference between angle and solid angle. Angle is equal to arc upon area. Solid angle is equal to surface area upon distance, square of distance. This is ds upon r square. So we are getting here. So this is called solid angle, and the value of solid angle is 4 pi. Note down the point. And the total value of angle is 2 pi. Angle is radian. Its unit is radian. Its unit is what? Steradian. Its value is 2 pi, and the value of angle theta is equal to s upon r. Angle is equal to arc upon radius, and solid angle denoted by omega. Omega is equal to s upon r square. Here s is arc, here s is area. Area upon that r square. This is the introduction about solid angle. Okay, so we can write it phi E is equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught ds cos theta upon r square. This will be integration of what? D omega. D omega is the solid angle. It's okay. The value of d omega is just I thought it will be 4 pi its value. So we will get phi E is equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and d omega is the solid angle, and its value is 4 pi. It's okay now. So 4 pi will be cancel out, and we will get phi E is equal to q upon epsilon naught. This is all about your Gauss theorem. So what is the Gauss theorem? Total flux passes through any closed area will be equal to the 1 upon epsilon naught times half total charge. Once again, let us suppose any surface is S. Its Gaussian surface is ds. It is making angle theta. Electric field away from positive charge. So total flux passes through Gaussian surface. D phi E is equal to E ds cos theta. Okay, but electric field in previous lecture you better know electric field 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square. This is the electric field into ds cos theta. Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught is out. ds cos theta upon r square, and ds cos theta upon r square. This is if theta is equal to 0, cos 0 is equal to 1. We can take ds upon r square, and this is the equal to the d omega. D omega is called solid angle. Solid angle, and its value is 4 pi. Note down the point. Solid angle, its value is 4 pi. So phi is equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and d omega, value of d omega is 4 pi. 4 pi will be cancelled out, and we will get phi is equal to q upon epsilon naught. This is all about your Gauss theorem. So total flux passes through any closed loop will be equal to the 1 upon epsilon naught times half total charge. It's okay now? So this is the point for Gauss theorem. In general way, we can write the Gauss theorem as like let us suppose this is any surface and charges are q1, q2, q3, so on. So total flux phi E is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught and summation of qi. What charge are inside we have to assume. If charges are given outside charges is not assumed, or it could be not in counted. Okay, qi, I is equal to 1 to n. So phi is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught and summation of qi, I is equal to 1 to n. This is the general form of Gauss theorem. Let's suppose if any question is given as like this question asked many times. This surface is S, this S1, this is S2. Let's suppose here charge is given 2q and here charge is given 3q. And I ask, what are the ratio of Gauss theorem? What are the ratio of flux? So by Gauss theorem, we know that phi is equal to q upon epsilon naught. So phi E1 is equal to, for first surface, what are total charge? Only 2q is inside the S1. So it will be 2q upon epsilon naught. Okay, because 3q is outside of what S1? We are talking about first surface, and first surface contain only 2q charge, so it will be 2q upon epsilon naught. For second surface, phi E2 equal to what a total charge is for second surface. We better know second surface is surrounding of what? 2q and 3q. So it will be 2q plus 3q, it will be 5q upon epsilon naught. If we divide them, q upon epsilon naught cancel out, we will get answer 2 by 5. You see the ratio of total flux passes through S1 and S2. Okay, now one thing we should know that, let's suppose radius is r and charge is q. So its flux will be phi equal to q upon epsilon. Radius is r. If radius become 2r, so what will be the flux? Flux is independent from radius. So no doubt flux, because charge is same. So again phi E equal to q upon epsilon naught. If again radius is 3r, 4r, 5r, but all time your flux will be phi equal to q upon epsilon naught. It means it all time depend on charge but not radius. So that's all for today. Next day we will study about application of Gauss theorem. Okay, that's all.